All right, everybody, it is time to get into the 20k celebration Q&A. I asked you guys this month to submit some questions to round off the 20k celebration. I feel like I've been banging on about this for like ever, but here we are. This is the end now. No more. This is donezo once we've done this. So I've compiled today's questions in a group of categories. Thank you, everybody who did submit your questions. I'm looking at the time because I want to try and get through as many as possible, but I also want to keep this video somewhat tight, so I'll do about an hour. Obviously, I sort of yak a bit. So I have, let me have a look. I've got it up on a spreadsheet. Of course there's a spreadsheet. It's a form that turned into a spreadsheet, which is why I quite like the Google Forms. So we have 4 categories on the docket. We have gaming, goals on YouTube, trophies, and other. So we're going to crack into this. Thank you, everyone, as I said, for submitting the question. I feel like Sean Evans doing this. Like, okay, it's tradition on this show for the last wing to do the last dab. You don't have to do it. I don't know if there's any Hot Wings fans out there, but I'm having this strawberry daiquiri, which said shake, baby, shake. And I bought this for 100 episodes of Locking It Down with Lucy and just have yet to drink it. And I was like, you know what? That might, spice things up a bit. So that's, oh God, of course it's just splattered everywhere because it's so bloody fizzy. Wah, wah, wah. Well, they wanted me to shake. Right. Shake, 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 shake it. Cheers. Do these go off or ferment? Best before base of can. Oh, November 23 at 5 minutes past 11. We're fine. It just tastes a little funky. Let's get a big swig of that in just to loosen the brain cells, open up the mind to the Q&A, the AMA as they say. Who knows what secrets will come tumbling out of my mind? No, I have no secrets. I have no secrets. Right. Hang on. It does taste rather odd, I'm not going to lie. I suppose that's what you're going to get for a cheap can of strawberry daiquiri from Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available. That's a weird thing to be doing alone on a Saturday night. Most people are out. They're not out. Okay, that'll do. I've done about half the can. So let's get into this. Let us start with a good topic in terms of gaming. So what's the time? The time is 20 to 7. We'll see how many we get done. God, that tastes awful. Good Lord. Right. GoldenEye 2047 asks, what was the hardest platinum in all the games you have played? Well, it is, of course, Max Payne 3. This is a good sign of things to come. Max Payne 3, many people may know this, but it is notoriously, it's quite difficult because there is a mode called New York Minute Hardcore mode where you have to complete the entirety of the game in one sitting without dying. And the game is not a short game by any stretch. It's like, I'm pretty sure that when I did it, it was like almost my entire, like a big chunk of the daytime. Like I might have started at 11 o'clock and finished at like 2 o'clock. And I don't even know if maybe you can pause quickly, but that, I always think of that because I just don't know if I'd be able to do that again. It just required like a lot of practice and a lot of just being like, I don't know. I just loved the game so much that I was like going to push through and do it. So that is always going to be the hardest. I'm trying to think what my second hardest is. And I don't know if anything, the reason I count that as hard is because I feel like that's a very skill-based trophy. Like you've got to, you could do it. Like it's a lot of practice. Like towards a lot of it was just memory. Oh my God, I've got strawberry daiquiri on my laptop. No, I hope it'll be okay. It was in the speakers. Yeah, so a lot of it is just like memorizing where the enemies were, just being good at the shots and just being on time and not losing your bottle. That was a big one. I always think about streaming Max Payne 3 again sometime, but streaming on the PS3 is a bit of a pain in the arse. So we shall see. Maybe one day I'll go back to that. But as for second hardest, I don't know. Nothing is springing to mind. Like, because now the only things that are coming to mind are games that are more grindy rather than hard, like Red Dead Redemption 2. But there was nothing about that was really difficult. Actually, some of those gold medals were quite difficult. Some people say the Batman games are difficult. I'd say, yes, they can be quite difficult. I really want to avoid looking at my PSN profiles to just pull something out of my arse. So I'm going to go with that. So thank you so much, GoldenEye. Hopefully, though, in the future, I would like to think that one day I can have a better, harder platinum than Max Payne 3. Or at least something that comes in the ballpark. Was Resident Evil the original hard platinum? I don't know. I enjoyed that, though. I didn't think it was particularly hard. But I liked it. But yeah, who knows? I don't want that to be the peak of my life forever. I don't want to peak too soon. All right, next up we have Thomas DFLV. Sorry if I've said this wrong. Asked, how old were you when you started gaming? This is a hard question because I don't know. It's like there wasn't this moment where I was like, oh, like if I think back, I just remember it being a thing I enjoyed. Like we had this TV Game Boy thing that you would like plug into the TV, and you had like these 100 pixelated games that you could play. And I don't know why. I tried to ask my dad, like, why did you buy this for us? Like, I don't know if I asked for it. I guess as a child, I was always very much towards the boys' toys, as they were known to be. So it'd be like, you'd get the Argos catalogue, and, you know, the girls section was just for the babies and prams. But I was always into like the boys' toys, because it would be like computers and like robots and stuff. So maybe that's why my dad was like, oh, I'll get you one of these. And that was it. So that must have been when I was about 7, 8. Because then, well, I think when I was 8 or 9, I got the Sega. And then it was when I was 10 or 9. I felt I really want to get the timelines of this down. I don't know. I need a time machine to go back, but I don't know the intricacies. But I started very young, and it was just something that I enjoyed doing at the weekends, obviously, or after school. Like I very much enjoyed like trying to beat Sonic and Crash Bandicoot, and it was very much a hobby. But I always think back to the PS3 as the moment when it changed from being just a hobby that I enjoyed to something that I was truly passionate about all aspects of. It wasn't just playing the games; it was like being like in tune what's happening in the industry and stuff like that. So that's why it's always sort of been interesting. It's been there in the background, but then it became like, you know, my primary focus of stuff and became my career sort of. So yeah, so thank you for your question. Next up, PS3 Gaming Scotland. I'm pretty sure PS3 Gaming Scotland, you asked me a question in the first ever Q&A that I did for 2K Q&A. Here we are, 18K later. So thank you for that. I don't know why, I always remember that. Oh God, it was like almost 2.5 years ago since I did the 5K Q&A. So PS3 Scotland Gaming, thank you for your support. Says, congrats on 2K subs, Lacey. Thank you very much. What was your first game you bought with your own money? Now, I don't know. I didn't really have a lot of money that I would spend on video games. Let me think. So I probably wouldn't have done any PS2 games, I don't think. None of that is, because a lot of video game buying was tied into just getting them for Christmas and or birthday. I don't know. So there's one game that does spring to mind, and it's because it's got a bit of a story behind it. I don't know if this is the answer, but this is the answer I'm going to give you. I think it might be Red Dead Redemption on PS3. Now, because this game came out in like May, June time of whatever year was it? I don't know, 2000, I'm going to say 2009? No, surely not. No, it can't be. I guess 2012? No, 2011. 2010. somewhere in that ballpark. I just named like 4 random years. So it came out in the summer, and I was just like so into this game. Like I was watching the reviews about it, I was looking up all about it, and I just really wanted the game so badly that I knew that I couldn't wait till my birthday or Christmas. And I was just like, I just have to buy this game. I just really want it right now. And I remember trying to buy it, and it just sold out everywhere, and it was just like, how am I going to get this game? So I went to, I don't know if anyone remembers this website, play.com. I think it turned to raccoon.com or something. They used to do like pre-owned or used versions of games, and I was like, you know what? I want this game so badly that I'm going to buy this game used for like 44 quid. Or actually, I don't think I bought a game for 44 quid back then, but it was like 35. It was expensive to me back then. So yeah, I bit the bullet and I bought it, and the game came and the case was broken. I was like, cool. But I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I'm going to say that Red Dead Redemption was the first game I bought with my own money, because I just remember I just could not wait to play it. And I remember being happy with my decision as well. I was like, yes, I'm so glad that I bought this game. Right, next up we have Odd Traveller that says, if another Uncharted game was ever made without Nathan Drake and his family in it, which character would you like to see take the lead, or would you like a new character to sort of take over as the Daredevil Explorer instead of Nathan? Okay, I do love a good Uncharted question. It just reminds me of my love for Uncharted and how much, I wish I could do more Uncharted content, but I don't know what left there is to do other than just play the games again. So I've always been a big fan of Charlie Cutter. Like, I don't like Uncharted 3 that much, but I do like, well, I say that in jest, but this is my least favourite. But I always do really like the that Charlie is like the British equivalent of Nathan Drake, and he's really funny. I really like the actor that plays him. He has some great like lines of dialogue in it. So I'd love to see that. Or it would be the continuation of like Chloe and Nadine like going off and doing their adventures. Oh, of course, if not them, I would go for a prequel, like a Sully prequel. I want to see Sully from Uncharted 3, you know, brown, like dark hair, dark moustache, you know, with his obviously Cuban shirt. I want to see that era of Sully. Like, what does Sully get up to? Maybe Nate. You did say None of his family. Does Sully count as his family? It would be cool to have cameos from like young Nate, like in it. I think that's the one that I want the most, to be honest. I don't really want to see like what could happen next after Uncharted 4. I want to play as Sully. Then I would pick Cutter. Then I would pick Chloe and Nadine continuation. But Sully prequel, that's where it's at. Jam026 says, what is the game you wish you could experience for the first time again besides Uncharted? Duh. So actually, this is a good question because I used to have like these default answers for this question. And I recently spoke to a friend of mine, shout out to you, friend Matt. We were talking about this question and he was like, I don't think I would want to not like... Well, there are certain games, so I sometimes would say Dark Souls, but then I think my love of Dark Souls comes from knowing the game. I like it more that I know what's coming up and how to beat the bosses, whereas that first run through was really frustrating, but I like that I overcame it. But I think my love for it is the memories that came with, you know, having beat it, coming over the strife of it all. And same with Uncharted, actually. I think my love for Uncharted, I love that more than not knowing the game. So those two I'm going to strike off the record. I think maybe I'm thinking about The Last of Us. I'm curious like how I think I might pick The Last of Us, not for reasons you think, because when I first played The Last of Us, I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I found it too emotionally like tough, and it was a bit too gory for me. I was a very simple-minded person when it comes to like, you know, deep emotional things. I was like, I can't handle this. It's too much for my brain. And I got to the end and I was like, So the reason I'd like to erase that one is because I'd be curious to see how I would find the game now. Like, would I have that same experience? I'm also really curious to see if the beginning of the game would hit me, or the whole game would hit me more if I had a kid. Because I know that people have said that, like, oh, since part 1's come out, now I've had a kid, so it all hits differently. That would be interesting. I think that one might be one of them. I don't know if there's anything else because sometimes the love of the game comes from knowing it and playing it and having a good time with it. And I guess maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, perhaps, just because it was so much fun exploring and playing that world. I would not want to have to get the platinum again, absolutely not. But it would be nice to dive back in and play it. One day I might replay Red Dead Redemption 2, just for the story. Like, I know there's some super slow bits, but that wonderment of being like, oh my God, I loved coming home to play that. That was so good. I just love the memories. All right, thank you for your question. Next up, Dusty B70 says, which 3 games would you combine to create the most awesome game of awesomeness ever? Which 3 games? I'd probably have to go for the storytelling of Uncharted and the actionness of Uncharted, paired with like the choice-driven nature of like Detroit Become Human. So now I guess we've got Nathan Drake as an android, perhaps, and then the open, but you can't really have narrative linear driven story without, because now I'm thinking like open world as deep and rich as Red Dead Redemption 2. What could we do with this? Okay, this is what it could be. It could be that, but I don't know, would that be fun? I'm workshopping it here. What if it was a linear game with big choices, and at the end of the game you had like an endless summer like Bully, where you get your big open world adventure and then you just play the game forever? I don't know how you would play Uncharted forever. Maybe there'd be sandboxes like at the... Okay, here's what the deal would be. Maybe you go on your big epic Uncharted adventure, things happen along the way, you play as different characters, decisions that get made are like affect the rest of the game, and there's different endings, but then the endings, whilst they're different, you could then do a flash forward like 10 years in the future, where now you're DNF fortunes and you just go around to these open world locations to do architect finding. No, they're not architects, are they? What's the other word for architect, but not an architect? The people that dig up the past. Oh, wow. Archaeologists, that's the one. Yeah, so you have these big dig sites and other missions that you go for, and yeah, maybe it is just like a big sort of DNF Fortunes cruise of the planet. I'm asking for a game that's literally Planet Earth. Please, someone make Planet Earth this game. No, but maybe there's something in that. I don't know. I'm just workshopping it. Naughty Dog, if you want to hit me up, you know, we can figure it out. But then you can dust things off as Elena. Nate will shoot the bad guys, and it'd be a good time. Lots to explore, lots to uncover in the open world nature, but you do need that narrative driven linear bit at the beginning. So that's the answer to that. Oh my God, this drink is truly horrendous. I can't even explain it to you. Wolf Club Ostel says, what is your chill out game to relax with? Now, I would always go for Skyrim, but definitely back in the PS3 era. Like, Skyrim was the game that I would always call my happy place. Like, whenever I was sad or sick or at a loss, you just pop Skyrim on and there'd always be something to do, something to explore. I remember one day I was just feeling like super ill. I can't remember what was wrong with me. Did I have like a food poisoning? So I used to always get food poisoning because my dad would just poison us on the regular. And I was just feeling so sick that I couldn't do anything, but I wanted to do something. So all I did was I got into Skyrim and I just like stuck myself in the river and just walked in the river just to see where it would take me, and went on a lovely adventure. However, I've said Skyrim, but the game is kind of old now. And not that that's a detriment to it. And also, once I got to the end of the main stuff in Skyrim, it did sort of like, what you could do kind of dried up. I remember there was like a mission that I hadn't done yet, but you had to be like level 80 to get to it. And I was like, well, I don't think I have enough to do to get to level 80 in this game, so I'll never see that quest, and probably still won't. But yeah, I just like the music, the chill vibe, but yeah, it's a little difficult, I found, to get back into, mainly because it's 30 frames per second. It's a little bit clunky with the combat. So what would it be now? Obviously, Uncharted is another sort of like, I wouldn't say Uncharted is a chill game, but it does always make me happy. But I guess a game that I do like having games that you could just stick on. So maybe like Vice City. I might go Vice City as my, because there's nothing is going to make you like happier than just driving in your taxi, listening to Flash FM, and just doing some taxi drop-offs, maybe just, just mucking about, running about the beach, having your own fun. So I was thinking down the way of GTA just because it's just silly fun. Also, San Andreas is a good shout as well, but I love the colour palette and the tone and the vibe of Vice City. So I'm going Vice City as now. I know, isn't it weird how I just like poo-pooed Skyrim for being an old game and being hard to get back into, but then I picked an even older game? What is happening in the mind of me? I don't know if there's any I don't know if I have any modern classics that I love right now. That is... Yeah, I think sometimes the nostalgia is what helps with the chill, relaxed nature. All right, so let's see what is up next on the questions. Oh, I just want to get rid of this drink so badly. Oh, I think, yes, Pixel also asked a similar question, which is why I grouped them together, which is, what is your current comfort game that you always find yourself playing every now and again? Well, that's Uncharted. Always happy to stick Uncharted, or Sonic actually, or Crash Bandicoot. The three trifectas actually. Crash Bandicoot's a good one. Maybe that answers the first question as well. Like, there's nothing better than just jumping into the original trilogy. We're not talking about that Crash 4, as I might call it from now on. Yeah, I always like, especially doing Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, and going to my save file that has everything unlocked and just jumping into a few levels and mucking about there, or playing... I think I might pick Crash 4 actually. That's Crash 4 and Uncharted 2. Top ones, top marks. Oh, I used to love playing Uncharted Survival with a friend. We used to like chat. That was great comfort food. It was like getting on a match of co-op and just chatting to friends. Oh, those were good times. Thank you for your question. Molly D says, congrats on 20k subs. Thank you very much. My question is, what was your favourite generation of PlayStation? And also, what generation do you think is underrated? Well, I think that my answer answers both of your questions. I'm going to say the PS3. PS3 is undoubtedly my favourite generation, because that was, as I mentioned earlier in the video, when I had the turning point of like, I really like gaming now. It's like gone from just being, because I know that I feel like PS2 and before, it was like they were games, there was a game and the story took a back seat and you didn't really think about it. You were just playing, doing the thing. But then, so it really upsets me that my laptop's really gross. But then on the PS3 era, I mean, I don't know if this may have obviously existed on the PS2 era, like with Metal Gear Solid, but I never played any of those games. That's when I got into like Uncharted, Red Dead Redemption, and all these really heavy story narrative driven games. I was like, wow, this is so different. Even Assassin's Creed, like I was just like taken aback by the voice acting, by these worlds and these places and these emotions that I was feeling playing these games. So that one, and I think as well, the majority of my favorite games of all time live in the PS3 era. Now, the reason I want to say it's underrated, because I feel like people just overlook it. Like, also, it was when online became a thing, like a much more like prevalent thing, and you had free PS Plus and you would go online, it was multiplayer. Like, I used to be in that all the time. Like, PS3 is probably the most gaming time I had hands-on. But I just feel like lots of people have nostalgia for like the PS2. That's my brother's favorite console. He'll always big up the PS2. So I think PS2 gets a lot of love. I think a lot of people like the PS4 a lot as well. But I get it, but I feel like the PS4 had a lot of sequels. Not that that's a bad thing, but I felt like the PS3 was the birth of a lot of these big franchises and games that I loved, which only got better as time went on. I rarely hear love for the PS3. Maybe I'm remiss saying that, but I think that's my answer. I don't know if people think fondly of the PS1 or whether they should or not. Maybe they should. As you can see from my collection videos, I played trash games on PS1 and PS2, so who am I to speak? Thank you for your question, Molly. And then the final question to round out the gaming section is by Jeremy. And they ask, do you have a favourite go-to food or drink when playing video games? I don't really pair food and video games very often, but I do think when you've got friends around, you've got to go for pizza. Pizza and Pepsi. Oh, what a combo, pizza and Pepsi. You wouldn't dip them in, though. Although you could dip the crusts in. Not that I've done that or would ever want to do that, really. I'm very much a person that eats food and then drinks my drink. Like, I've seen people, and I'm just like, I think this is a step overstepping the line, who eat like a burger, like we're eating the burger now, and then get their milkshake before they've swallowed the burger, and they're like having it all together. I'm like, no, I'm a real problem. I more eat the food and then drink the drink at the end. No, I don't know if that is a problem. But yeah, I'd say pizza is definitely one. I do like popcorn. Something that's not going to get your hands too sticky. Chocolate. I mean, now I'm just listing foods that I like. But yeah, you don't want something like Doritos. Like, I steer clear of anything that's going to be like gross hands for the controller. Sometimes I did used to eat like cereal dry, like it was popcorn. So yeah, I think I'll go for that. And then drinks got to be like, mostly water. But if I'm going to be fancy, then I'd get a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi. So yeah, those are the gaming questions. Thank you so much for answering those. I'm going to try and finish this, but I do feel like it's going to my head. With the more this goes into the deep wells of my mind. Oh, this is no bueno. It's got this real metallic-y taste to it that I'm just like grossed out by, and I can't put my finger on why it's grossing me out, but it really is. Could be that the alcohol has just been sitting there forever in this can. In my when was that was June, and we are now in October. Blimey. Yay. Okay, let's move on to trophy questions. I felt that links quite nicely into gaming questions. Justin writes in, thank you for writing in, or typing in. And our Flawless Raider is the trophy that prevented me from getting the Destiny Platinum. Is there a specific trophy that's prevented you from achieving a platinum? Yes, and it is the same thing as Flawless Raider. It's Flawless Raider. It's Flawless Raider, really. There are the final 3 on Destiny, and Oh, and what's the other one where you have to raid with a party? That was so annoying for some reason. Like, I don't know why this was so difficult. I didn't really care about whatever clan I was in. I can't remember if that's what they were called in Destiny. But whenever I would do the Vault of Glass, there'd always be some real contention as to who should be changing. Like, oh, hang on, well, I'm going to be in this clan. Oh, I'm not going to change because I'm the clan leader. I was like, oh, I could have 100% have got that one, but no one could really agree. And then there's always like, oh my God, don't get me into the raids on Destiny, because it'd be like, I played with a lot of American people back then. And it'd be like, right, we're meeting at this time to do the raid. And I was like, sweet, I'll be there. Now, of course, being in the UK, I had to take the hit, and it was late at night. So it was like, we're meeting at 11 p.m. my time. And then everyone would like fuck about in the tower for like an hour and a half. And I'd be like, okay, now it is 12:30. Okay, fine. And then we'd be doing it, and then everyone's like, isn't it funny when you make the Gorgon see you? Yeah, it was funny, not really, but sure. But then they would do it 10 times, and I'd be like, can we get the show on the road? Because now it's like 1:30, because these things were long. And then it would get to the final bit, and my head would be pounding, because it's like 4 a.m. now. This is a literal story that like was 4 a.m. and I was like, we just couldn't do it. I don't even know why we're doing it on a hub. It wasn't like our first time doing the Vault of Glass by any stretch of the imagination. We'd done it a few times, but we were just struggling when it's that bit where you got to go into the portal thing, and then someone goes and it's like, who's got the thing? Like, God, it's all coming back to me like some crazy fever dream. And I was just like, I had to be like, guys, I'm really sorry. I can't play anymore. Like I'm in physical pain here. So yeah, that was my experience, and I just was like, I didn't enjoy the raids either. I've got like raids to me aren't a fun time because it's like a big chunk of commitment time, and yeah, for me it normally meant an overnight stay in the play. So yeah, mine definitely is Flawless Raider. But I want to throw you a curveball one, seeing as you gave me that. I'd say another trophy that stopped me from getting the platinum was Brian May Be Jealous. It's a trophy in Lego Rock Band, and I wanted the platinum in Lego Rock Band pretty badly. I'm pretty sure I'm only missing like 2 trophies, and that might be one of them. Actually, maybe I'm missing 4 because I have to have like the full band. But it's to get like 100% solo on the final countdown. The final countdown is a long song. So yeah, that was one that was always like, damn, I wish I could get the trophy in that. And I suppose another one is in GTA 5, the bounty. Oh, I'd love to get the platinum in. No, it doesn't work backwards, does it? Oh, does it? Oh my God! If I go home tomorrow, I've just had an epiphany. I could log in. Could this be? I could log into my PS3, log into my GTA 5, and pop the trophies for getting to level 100. I'm gonna have to write this down and try and do this tomorrow. Is that possible? It's got to be possible. It's online, and then I could just get a couple of trophies to help with my completion. My God, who was this? Justin, you might have helped me. You might have helped me change the world. Maybe not save the world. I'm not like that. Much of a humanitarian sitting here playing video games. But wow. But I won't ever be able to get the platinum in that game because of a trophy glitched on me. So that's that done. Okay, so we finally installed the game, hoping to boot up online, which it's still loading story mode. Weirdly, maybe the controller's the controller's not working. That's why. Ugh, come on, this controller's gross. Oh no, what does that mean?
Because the PS3 is gone, isn't it? The PS Store's finished now on PS3.
Is it?
I think they disconnected it, haven't they?
No. What's it gonna do now? No. It's game over, man.
I feel like I read that somewhere.
What? Okay, I need to look that up. Oh. Well, goddamn, I totally forgot that the servers were shut down. That would have been such a good plan. But sadly, no trophies today. No trophies for Lucy. So, plan failed. Patrick McLean asks, have you ever considered playing a 4-player or multiplayer stream with your fellow YouTubers Adam, Joel and Lewis? I think when we've met up we must have talked about it, but I don't know when or what we would play. What I like about our group is that we have quite diverse, tastes in games. We don't all play the same thing. Like we play the core ones, but we have also Joel doesn't even have a PS5, so what's he gonna do? Yeah, I don't know what we would play, but it would be fun. I think it would be a good time. I wouldn't rule it out. But what that game would be, I don't know. I think that would be fun to pursue maybe sometime in the future, but might be, technically kind of difficult maybe. I know that they do that stuff on kind of like Achievement Hunt. They used to all play games together. So maybe someday we can get that done. Maybe someday. But I don't really play much multiplayer anymore unless I need boosting help, which leads me on to my next question, which was, oh no, where was my next question? I had a question from Joel. So that leads me on to the next question, which is from Guy Fruski, which is, will we boost again? And what game will it be? Massive congrats once again on 2K. Well, Joel, we'll boost again and don't know where and don't know when. But I'm sure there'll be an occasion. And obviously I've learnt the errors of my ways now. So if boosting is needed, who are you going to call? Guy Faruski. I shall remember you. You've left me your calling card and many messages, many voicemails, pretty sure some postcards asking about boosting. So not sure if I got the message though. Jose asks, what? Jose asks, you know how the Platinum Trophy for the first 3 Uncharted games is called Platinum? If you could rename each of the Platinums, how would you name them? I like that. This is a thought-provoking question that I maybe should have spent more time thinking about. So, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Maybe it should be called Fortune Found or something, like the Platinum Trophy. But Fortune Found I think sounds good for that. Uncharted Among Thieves. Honor. I like the quote that comes from that. Honor among thieves, which is what am I talking about? What would I call? Something with the Chintamani stone. I'm blanking here, but maybe I'll just call it Honor Among Thieves. So I know this is kind of like dumb, I'm literally just saying it from the thing, but I like that would be, because that's kind of the quote, so, and it'd be something that you managed to do, get the honor of whatever. And then Drake's Deception, I might call that something a bit different, not deception deceived or perceived deception. No, I think I would call that something to do with so now I'm just getting quotes from a child in my head like long hidden, no shit long hidden. I'd want to have something that was a nice callback to part of the adventure, like maybe not the golden hind, that doesn't really make any sense, does it? But maybe it would be oh, I might do a quote, that something worth, I found something better, like, maybe something to do with the ring. We're just workshopping it here. No, I do like how isn't it called something better, that music at the end? I swapped it for something better. Maybe swapped it for something better. Something like that. I don't know. It's a bit cringe, but I really like, as much as I rag on Uncharted 3, I do like the way the game wraps up. And yeah, maybe because something like The True Treasure. So, something like that. I don't know. Or maybe they should all just be called The Platinum Relic. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think too deeply into it. But thank you for your question, Jose. Seg asks, hey Lucy, just wanted to know, how's the Toe Poke trophy going? If you haven't already, you should go back and make Brian proud. Oh my God, Brian. Hi guys, I was just wondering, my boyfriend Brian really struggles to get the Toe Poke trophy. So I have yet to go back to get the Toe Poke trophy. And honestly, someone in the canteen that I spoke to was like, why are you trying to get that trophy? It's really difficult. I think that's a trophy that you would have to get from just being A, good at FIFA, and B, playing it a lot and just getting it accidentally. So I'm sorry to disappoint both you and Brian, but it ain't happening. And I think I'm just going to have to come to terms with that and accept my failures. Let's see. Jamie comes in with a lot of questions, which is a bit cheeky, but we'll see how quickly we can go through it. Hey Lucy, I've just put words in your mouth. Congratulations on reaching 20k subscribers. It's a massive achievement that you truly. Oh, thank you. I wasn't just trying to add massive into it, but it was actually the question. My question is, if you could add your own trophy to any game of your choice, what game would it be on? What name would the trophy have? What rarity would the trophy be? And what would the trophy description be? Thanks for all the amazing videos and streams you provided us. Here's to many more in the future. Thank you. If you could add your own trophy to a game of your choice, I would want... I know that I just keep banging on about Uncharted, but it is truly the love of my life in the video game world. I would like a trophy dedicated to me in Uncharted 2. Somehow... I would want a treasure or something that was hidden in the world that was a little nod to me. Like how, in The Last of Us, there's a Firefly pennant that people get their names on. Maybe something like that. Or maybe I could be insert myself as an NPC somewhere in Uncharted 4. Maybe in the bazaar market. And when you speak to me, you get a certain trophy. So I guess I'm saying the rarity wouldn't be that rare. It'd be kind of middle-ish. And what would the trophy be called? Trophy XP? Because if you know, you know. Gained XP for finding a certain trophy. Something like that. And it would be a bronze. So I don't want to, milk my part. I know where I stand in the trophy stature. I'm just a little bronze trophy, and that's okay. I could accept my little 15 points in the world. I think I have answered your question. Thank you, Jamie. Right, so that wraps up all the trophy-related questions. God, I hate how my keyboard is so sticky. Because of the stupid strawberry daiquiri. Let's move on to the next category, which is goals/YouTube. All right, Adam McDermott, friend of the show, thank you very much for writing in, says, congrats on 20k, long overdue, onwards and upwards, thank you. So, you were given a blank check with access to any personal/production crew you want. What is your dream video project? All the best, looking forward to what you have planned for the rest of the year. Thank you, Adam, appreciate it. Okay, I think Adam knows the answer to this question. So, this came about when I was like, what would I do if I won the lottery? Would you still keep working? And I think the answer is no. I don't think if you won the lottery, a substantial amount, that means you don't have to work anymore. You would continue work. You might think you might, But I think you just think it's a bit of a DOS at the end of the day, wouldn't it? Because the reason you go to work is to get money. But if you don't need money, it's just a little bit of a funny pastime. So I would probably quit my job and want to start, which is actually, there's a few questions that are talking about like YouTube and stuff. I would probably quit my job and start a proper YouTube channel company. I wouldn't want to be a YouTuber like this. I would want to buy an office. As Adam's saying, I had a personal crew, production crew. I'd hire people to be part of it, because I'm very much someone that I'm such a team player, my CV. No, but I do want to be part of like a team and make something together and have ideas together that we can all be proud of. So I guess the project that I would really want to do, first and foremost, is I'd want to do some kind of Uncharted. I'd want to do it in the video game realms still. I'd want to do something that's related to Uncharted, maybe like visiting places in video games in real worlds, like going on some kind of Uncharted adventure type thing, like I don't know, like maybe following the adventures of Nathan Drake in Uncharted 2, for instance. So like we start off in Turkey and like we're like, this is the location where Nate would have gone to the prison and this would have happened. And then we follow Nate's journey on to Borneo and then we go, oh, look at Borneo. Like, I don't know, I want to do something like that. I want to get out in the world and like somehow tie a real life adventure into the video game adventure somehow. I think that's what I'd want to do. That would be a bit more out there and a bit more, I don't know, not crazy, but then another thing would be like maybe do some kind of, maybe I'd try and interview people at some point, like, I don't know, in the gaming industry, something like that, set up like a live show type thing. I don't know, but I think the Uncharted thing would be my first port call. Like I would maybe even like exploring the Western Ghats or something from Lost Legacy would be pretty cool, especially as I have heritage in India. That would be like a great opportunity to go out there and do something like that. I feel like so Foxy Cat, thanks for writing in, Adam. Foxy Cat writes in with a similar question, which says, do you ever think about doing YouTube as a full-time job? The answer to that is no, because I do really like my job that I have at the moment. I am a digital designer at PlayStation, working on the website. And I feel like for me, becoming a full-time YouTuber I don't really enjoy sitting at home all day by myself. And I like going to work because I like the collaborative nature. I like seeing other people and like working on something together that's for a bigger cause. And I don't think I'd be happy being a full-time YouTuber in this sense. Only if I won the lottery and could make a full-time YouTube kind of gig, like working in an office, would I actually do it. But I also like that gives me separation. Like YouTube is still something that I very much do for my own like creative output even. Like it's gives me something to do when I'm here by myself, like something to work on in the downtime. But then I like going to work and having like someone just tell me what to do, kind of. I like having like a mission and a purpose and a focus, because obviously YouTube stuff is very much I have to be motivated and drive that myself, whereas at work it's, so you've got to do it because also I am passionate about my job, and I like having a career where I can progress and grow, whereas in YouTube that progression is different because it's like, watch time, subscribers and stuff. It's not as like I'd like to be a manager or something someday. Actually, I'd like to be more of a, I don't know, I don't know if I'm getting too far, but I think one of my other dreams would be to make it within the business and be able to be someone that can speak to, the audience and get them excited about games and like maybe help like shape PlayStation. I don't know, I'm just deeply passionate about PlayStation. But then also provide content as well. So I guess that's the answer to that. But that also relates to it's Josiah, hopefully I said your name right, thank you, which says, what and who motivate you to create your own business? Well, I don't know, I don't really have a business. I don't know if well actually, maybe it's who would. I don't know, to be honest. That's a hard question because I don't really feel like I want my own business, because obviously having a business is tough. Like you got to do all your taxes and stuff. I don't know if I'd be, and also being your own boss, being, it'd only be in that other world where maybe then I'd like to help other people with their career progress as well. Like, if I had my own like YouTube company thing, then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to promote you to senior video production manager or whatever. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, you've done well. So I don't know. That's in the fantasy lands. Let's see. MJ says, well, MJ has yeah. Oh, actually, this is more about, it's more about video games. I should have put this in the video game section. But I'll answer your question anyway now, MJ, because I like this question. You win £1 million if you survive a year living in the video game you last played. Would you win? Ooh, what was the last video game I played? Oh no. Oh no, when it dawns on you what the last video game you played was. For a moment I was thinking, oh, I played Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think I could survive that. But then I was like, oh no, I stopped playing Rise of the Tomb Raider and put on Resident Evil 5. I don't think I could survive a zombie infested. Especially those zombies. They're not even zombies anymore. They're just like they're like humans with just like that have mutated into something else. I could not. It's too gross. I don't think I have the stomach for it. And I certainly don't have the action chops to jump out of windows and roundhouse kick people. And the fact it would be just terrifying, I would just probably not want to exist. Like, the Resident Evil world is awful, really. I think that's terrible, living in a world with zombies. So I 100% would not win. I mean, maybe I certainly would try, but I think it would be tough for a year. I think I would definitely struggle. They'd also said at the end, which I'd like to read, so thank you. I'd also like to just thank you for your videos. It's clear how much passion and energy you put into them. As a single girl living on her own, watching always makes me feel less lonely and makes me feel less self-conscious about being a trophy hunting nerd. Your joy is so infectious, and I think it could be only a fraction of how awesome you are. And I would be very happy. Oh, well, thank you, MJ. That's really sweet of you. And actually, I wanted to read that not just to read it out loud, but because as someone else who also lives alone, I hope that my content can help other people who live by themselves, like give them something to have on in the background, or like, you know, a friendly voice to feel less lonely, because I know the struggles, and I don't know, sometimes I'm just like I'm here on a Saturday night doing this. So, and then after this I'm like, cool, what do I do next? Guess I'll just play some video games. So no, I'm happy to help in that aspect, and thank you for the lovely comments, and keep at it. Your trophy hunting is awesome, and you know, good luck with your goals. So let's move on. Kind of defeats the point, but anonymous. Cool, it was just the thing cut off. Says, what is your main goal in life? Also, did you pursue higher education? If that is the case, what did you study? What's my main goal in life? I don't know, to be happy, I guess. That would be nice, to have a house with a dog and a garden. Actually, that is the main goal. I really want a dog and a house and a garden, because then we'd be like living our best life all together. So I don't know, maybe I don't know, I feel like anything else is a little bit, I hope that I still play video games. I don't know, my goal might be to still continue doing that, but I think, yeah, and maybe just make sure I live my life to the fullest that I can. And yeah, actually more that definitely, because like ever since like the pandemic times, I was like, I never ever, I think that's why I struggle, going back to the last question, it's getting really deep here in the Q&A. That's why I sometimes struggle when I'm sitting here by myself, because it reminds me of the pandemic times, and I'm just like, I remember visibly sitting in my old room and being like, I never ever by choice want to sit in a place bored doing nothing if it's not my choice anymore, because obviously back then it wasn't your choice. You had to sit there and you had to be bored and you had to do nothing. So sometimes I do find myself on that trap, but I try and remind myself there was a time where I literally was not allowed to leave my house or do anything. So get up off your ass and do something, because you know that feels like a lot of wasted time. So I try and remember that. But let's see, what was the end? Oh, I did pursue higher education. I went to college twice, as I did an acting degree, and then I went to actual college, and not that the first one was an actual college, but then I did like subjects, and I did go to university where I studied multimedia technologies. It was a bit of a catch-all, but I mainly did it because I knew I liked creating stuff. I was always kind of a creative person. I liked making stuff on the computer, making stuff in real life, so that's what I was like, I'll do that, because I didn't really know where I wanted to take my creativity. And so this was like a good opportunity. So we did like 3D animation, we did After Effects, we did filming, so we did cinematography, we did a bit of coding, some website building, just pretty much, you know, any sort of, like, we dabbled in every kind of Adobe product there was. And I didn't take sound design. Maybe I should have done that. That seemed like an interesting course. But you could only take you had to pick certain modules. So yeah, that's what I studied. And I don't really tell many people this, but I suppose I did actually get a first class degree in it, which I almost feel like, wow, I actually did that. That's like kind of weird. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was tough, but I enjoyed it. I'm a bit studious when I feel like it. But yeah, that's what I studied. So, you know, study, and maybe you could be sitting here making YouTube videos. You could probably do that without having to study, and you could probably learn it. This is the truth of the matter. Like, it's nice to have that degree, but I feel like that the degree really only shows to people that I stuck at something, and I'm, you know, I can put my head down and work on something. But a lot of the time, I didn't actually learn that much. Well, I say I didn't learn that much, but there's so much stuff I still don't know. Like, I go on YouTube like everybody else, and I'm like, how do I make a thing? I don't know the ins and outs of Photoshop and Premiere. Like, hell, Adam is great at Premiere. He's always giving me tips. So, but it's good to get your foot in the door. It helped me decide what it was I liked and didn't like doing. Like, I realized I very much did not like coding, but I did like coming up with stories and creating stuff and editing stuff and making stuff. I already knew I liked editing stuff, to be fair, but it helped me, give me the chops. And like I said, I think at the end of the day, university just helps have this thing on a piece of paper that you can give to someone and say, hey, I stuck at something and I can prove that I can be dedicated and make a thing happen and hit deadlines. So there we go. Oh, okay, more YouTube questions too that tie together. AJ asks, which of your Road to Platinum 100 videos was the most enjoyable to make? I think the ones that come to mind, God, it feels like such a long time ago I did this. By the way, I would like to say thank you everyone who really loves those videos. Like, I think it's really cool that people really got behind that. That was cool. I would say Overcooked was a really fun one because I got to play with Bethany and Foxy Cat and Booker, and it was just like fun just mucking about and doing that. That was a good one because it was co-op. And then I think the God of War one as well, because that one, I remember embarking on that and being like, I don't know if this is going to take 15 minutes or 15 hours. Like, I was concerned, and then going through and like seeing how I having the attempts and seeing how the fight progressed and how I get better, like that felt like a real yes, and doing it on New Year's Day, like that one always stuck out as a good one. And I felt like that was a good trophy to end. Sometimes it was quite difficult for the Road to 100 to find like a good final trophy. Same sometimes with the Platinum Trophy Tales, which is why they're a little less frequent. So yeah, thank you for enjoying that. That also leads on to Mark W's question, who says, will we see the Road to Platinum 200? I mean, I guess I'm going to have to, I suppose, because people loved it so much. Like the Platinum Trophy Tales isn't too dissimilar from the Road to 100, but I've been thinking about this along, like, what is it that people love about that makes them feel like the other thing is different? But maybe it's just the working towards a goal. Oh, I did really like the live stream as well for Uncharted, so I don't know. I'll have a think on it. Maybe you haven't seen the end of the road, but when that will be, God, imagine, let's think, it's 2022 now. 2024? Would I be good enough to get in 2023? I don't know. We shall see. So thank you for writing in. Quick Shot asks, out of 30 or so of the shows that they're talking about, Locking It Down with Lucy, I've watched, one of the best in my opinion was where you went through the group of the worst aspects of a video game and then made it into a game. Have you considered going back through your YouTube analytics, seeing which episodes got the most views, and then over time redoing popular skits, popular events, activities in new videos? So thank you for this feedback. I wanted to read this question because I thought that was cool that people do enjoy the little like interactive segments of Locking It Down with Lucy, and I'm glad that you enjoyed that. Sometimes I do think back, and the end of the show is sometimes dependent on how I'm feeling on a day. Like, I don't know, so that's what I'm saying, it's nice to get feedback on that, because sometimes I'm not sure how well certain activities go over with the chat, whether people liked it or not. But there are a few that I sometimes think, oh man, I should do that again. But it's hard to really tell from just looking at analytics like what things at the end of the show got over, because I imagine most people are watching the show to hear the main topics that I'm talking about, or watch clip of the week as I found out. So yeah, no, that's good feedback. I shall think upon it. But there are ones that I look back fondly on. Like I like the drawing ones. I always enjoy doing a bit of drawing, and hopefully other people enjoy that too. So yeah, I try and keep a rotating one in my mind of things that people might enjoy, but also try and think of new things too. So thank you for writing in with that. Okay, we're going to go on to the other section now. These are other questions that are unrelated to the other topics, so I just bundled them all in an other section. Alex asks, hi Lucy, love the channel. Thank you very much. I know you're a big Doctor Who fan, so I wondered what your ideal Doctor Who video game would look like. What sort of story gameplay would you want to have? And of course, what would the trophy list be like? Tomorrow is the Centurion episode of Doctor Who, by the way, the Jodie's last episode, her regeneration episode, so I'm interested to see how it ends, hopefully positively, but then I'm really excited because that means that we are one step closer to David Tennant being the Doctor again. God, I told someone on Friday about my love for David Tennant as the Doctor, and they just stood there and listened to it, and I was like, thank you for listening. I realised that was a lot. And I'm like, it's okay. So my Doctor Who game of choice, because the Doctor Who games are hard. They're normally puzzle games, and I'm like, ugh. It's hard because there's no sort of, most games are do with like guns or whatever, and the Doctor doesn't use guns. So that, then people normally make a puzzle game, and I don't think puzzle games are that great either. So I want a Telltale style or Quantic Dream style or Supermassive Game style story-driven thing, because the Doctor always has to make choices, all right? And one of my favourite Doctor Who quotes, the 12th Doctor said, Sometimes the only choice you have to make is bad. You still have to choose. Perfect for a video game just like this. So I want there to be some big epic adventure. Maybe if you do have to have some combat, you throw in some companions. It's like a maybe it is like you have two protagonists, like like Detroit Become Human. You play as the Doctor, you play as maybe Riversong or Captain Jack's always like a good every person that you just like shove into these games. Maybe you would I don't really like the idea of creating your own Doctor. I really like playing as the Doctor, and so it's cool, like every Doctor kind of has a video game, so I'd want the Doctor to be the Doctor, voiced by the actual actor. And it would be something like that. It'd be a story driven with like different endings, and you as the Doctor have to make a big decision, because that's always what happens in these finales. Like the Doctor's got to make some kind of like painstaking decision that's going to save the world ultimately, but maybe at the cost of his own heart. Oh God, or their own heart, as I should say. Because David Tennant didn't really have a video game, sadly, but then he was in the latest one with Jodie Whittaker, so that was nice. So that would be my ultimate Doctor Who game. Then Dusty with another question, but it is Doctor Who related, so I will answer it. Rusty Davis asks you to submit ideas for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, ? I mean, he's already fulfilling my dreams of making David Tennant come back. And Catherine Tate. I love David Tennant and Catherine Tate together. They make me so happy. I think, I'd say, that's very kind offer of you, RTD, but I think you've got this. I don't know what I could do to improve, because I'm just excited to see what it's going to be. So yeah, I'll leave that. I'll leave that with the professional story writers, not myself. David Bennett asks, congrats on well-deserved 20k. Thank you very much. What are your top 3 pro wrestling matches of all time? Well, my favourite match of all time is The Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania 28. Hell in a Cell, with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. Love that match. That match makes me so happy all the time, just because I just love the storytelling of it. I love Shawn Michaels. He's like one of my favourite wrestlers. And it always sucks me in, like the story. The only thing that's missing from that match is a video package at the beginning, because I think the perfect wrestling match, good video package, special entrance, epic match, good finish, crowd happy. So that's number 1. Number 2 and 3, it's going to be a little harder, because I find that I haven't really recalled a lot of my favourite matches for a long time. I do like Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker again at WrestleMania at 25. I think that's enough, because that, great video package as well. But then the one at 26 is probably a better video package. The one with the placebo, like, if I only could make a deal with God, not for me. Oh, video package. That was what I wrote in my like thing to join up to university. I was like, hey, I love the video packages that they make for WWE. I'd really like to. I really wanted to like work for them on the motion graphics team at some point, or the video editing team, because I was just like, yeah, video, good work. So maybe that. And I'd like to give a shout out to John Cena versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank, the one where July 19th is when my contract expires. Oh, that's so good. That's so exciting, that match. So maybe that could be number 3. I feel like that's a bit crazy putting that as 3rd of all time, but I think I might go with those 3 for fear of sitting here thinking forever about other matches, because I don't want to just pull from WrestleMania, but WrestleMania pretty much does have the best matches on the whole. So yeah, let's stick with those 3 while those are the ones in my memory. I do like, I've watched it in a long time, but Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho at No Mercy. I think it was No Mercy, yeah, when it's for the title, the World Heavyweight title. And I remember watching that episode of Raw where Chris Jericho was like, you gelatinous people, like, you gelatinous sheep, tapeworms, whatever he used to say, like, none of you could beat me. And then it went, oh! I literally did a cartwheel around the room thinking that Shawn Michaels was going to get a shot at the title. If only. It did happen, but I was hoping he would be the champion. Thank you for your question. Largo asks, what are some of your personal strengths and qualities, and what occasions and situations brings them out of you? Oh, what are some of your personal strengths and qualities, and what occasions and situations brings them out of you? Oh, it feels like a job interview question. I like to think that I'm good at thinking about ideas, especially when working with other people. So I hope that I am collaborative, but I'm capable of working on my own if needs be. Diane's come now. I don't know. I like to hope that I can, cheer people up, make them laugh, or something, just even if it's at my own expense. I hope that I can make people laugh, have a good conversation. What situations bring them out? I suppose when I'm just hanging out with friends in like a comfortable place where it's like I'm not like, because I feel when I'm in a situation that like, so like getting on an airplane, for instance, that's kind of stressful. All right, that would be where my banterous abilities would fall off, because I just shut down. I'm just like in my mind thinking about all the things that happen. So I don't mean to be rude when things like that happen, but it's because I'm just like thinking of the situation. I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. We need to be blah, blah, blah. And I've got to go through my own mind. But yeah, normally it's like at the bar at work. I don't know, just like hanging out with like people and just being with the the people that I enjoy hanging out with, I suppose. Yeah, just having a laugh. I don't know, it's weird talking about yourself, isn't it? Although that is part of being on YouTube, is you spend like 80% of the time talking about yourself. But I do spend 20% of the time talking about video games, I hope. So thank you for your question. And then John Sutton, are you able to touch your toes yet? I guess not. So we have Mega Pork Chop Express saying, will you be playing / live streaming Dead Space Remaster / remake upon release? Platinum trophy emoji. I would like to play Dead Space. Maybe I could stream that then. It's definitely a game that I'm intrigued to play, especially after Adam's, Dead Space Platinum Journey. I loved that. So that definitely intrigued me and wanting to play it. No, I'm bigger and braver. I think I could take it on. So maybe we could make that. Be interested what the Platinum is like. But yeah, okay, maybe we'll keep that in mind. And then finally, Ian is asking, if any game could be made in your image, what game would that be? Platformer, Souls-like, or adventure example? I don't know. If any game could be made in your image, what game would it be? I guess it'd have to go back to some kind of like Doctor Who sort of narrative game. I think that's the only sort of thing that's missing that I would find like, yes, I need this game day one. So I don't think it'd be an action adventure. It would have to be a narrative, as I said before. So I'd link it back into the answer for that question. All right, so there we go. Yes, hit my 1 hour time limit. Hopefully that saw you through some good trophy gains or some grinding of a multiplayer or something. And thank you everybody for submitting your question. Hopefully you enjoyed your answer. I feel like this was a mistake to drink that strawberry daiquiri because I felt like it detrimented my reading, thinking, just all the abilities that are required for YouTube, just, general speaking. But hopefully it was somewhat, coherent. And yeah, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you all again in the next Q&A, whenever that will be. I guess it'll be like 2 years' time at this point. So thank you very much, and I shall see you around the channel. Yeah, bye.